T-Mobile committed a crime with how they treated me and thousands of Texans. But unfortunately for us, Texas didn't make it a law until after T-Mobile got away with it. Let me introduce you to Texas Health and Safety Code Chapter 81D. This chapter went into effect on February 6th of 2024. This new law prohibits companies from requiring employees or contractors to be vaccinated against COVID-19. And it prohibits companies from taking adverse actions against individuals who aren't vaccinated for COVID-19. Now, let me show you how I fought back against T-Mobile violating this law before it was a law. In the summer of 2021, I returned to the office before it was mandatory because I loved my job and being around people in the office. In August of 2021, the T-Mobile CEO Mike Sievert announced all offices were going to vaccine-only workspaces. And on September 16th of 2021, I spent my last day in the office and I submitted what was my first of a few exemptions begging for my job. This was a homemade document from the leadership team I was under. I was forced to provide my health status in order to be able to work from home. This team was out of California, so they were extra comfortable with violating my rights. Look at what I wrote back then. I stated I was uncomfortable with my company mandating medical decisions, and I was willing to elaborate on why. I asked for alignment with another channel because T-Mobile's policies were all over the place as a company at the time. And I offered to go into the office and take a test daily upon my arrival. I once again shared that I need to be around people for my mental health. And I knew back then the vaccines wouldn't protect others. I thank T-Mobile's culture for introducing me to Peloton because it changed my life for the better. And then check out this version with the section I ended up removing prior to submitting. Because I was treading lightly. I was pretty scared. I didn't want to lose my six-figure career from the company I thought I was going to retire at. I knew back then the FDA approvals were a narrative spin. They changed the name of the vaccine in order to circumvent the long-term approval process. And of course, America fell for the fake news and brainwashing agenda. In 2024, America doesn't even care about fully FDA-approved vaccines now. Now everything's emergency authorized approval and people are okay with it. On January 28, 2022, I had to submit another request as now T-Mobile was threatening my job. Check out this email from the head of human resources, Deanne King. My employment was now being threatened. Employees were being mandated to upload their vaccine card to a third-party company, and they even tried to make it sound cool. You'll obtain your magenta pass. This tyranny went on for 7 more months, and I was finally allowed to go back into the office in July. During this time, I wasn't allowed to travel for my job, but my vaccinated peers were. I wasn't allowed to attend the company Christmas party at the Stonebriar Country Club, but my vaccinated peers were. I couldn't attend off-site meetings in Dallas where hundreds of people were meeting, but vaccinated peers were allowed to go. I was clearly discriminated against, and there's zero accountability besides me speaking up. And finally, in April of 2023, T-Mobile completely dropped its vaccine mandate for employment and office spaces. I was finally vindicated 2.5 years later. And now, I'm vindicated even more by Texas on February 6, 2024 with this Chapter 81D. This isn't the America I grew up in. This America since 2020 is some bullshit. This video is one of many examples of why I turned down my severance I was owed after 17 years of corporate slavery for T-Mobile. Look, I hate even having a GoFundMe, but I still believe people one day will support me and make me whole for having the integrity and courage to turn down that money so I could speak up. And if you're new to me, check out my website because I got a lot to say about T-Mobile and their corporate tyranny. www.markpalaciano.com